Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Schin pads. We're here with the
one and only.
The one and only.
The one and only. There is no better. There is no other.
Not now.
There's no better and there's no other.
We got the budget counts in this one. Straight from our grandma's kitchen.
So who do we actually have here today?
We've got
a Turk, we know that. He's in the middle.
One of the best players in the MPL at the moment. He's signed from Perth Glory. We've got Brendon Santalab here. Brendon, how are you?
Very good, thanks guys. Buzzing to be here. Yeah, I listen to you guys commentating and I have a good laugh myself, so you boys are doing a great job, so good to be here and have a chat.
Thank you very much. Brendon Santalab has signed for Dandenong City, and for those of you who don't know, that just means you don't watch MPL Victoria football, because this bloke's banging in goals week in, week out. How does it feel to be from the A-League down to the NPL, and what's the sort of the level drop?
Yeah, look, obviously there's a big drop in the level. The A-League's a very good standard, and obviously playing in a grand final, and you're not going to mention the Panenka today, are you? Or...
Well, you just did, so now we're
so I'm just taking a break for myself.
It's out there now.
You like that one, right? Yeah, I copped a bit of flack about it. But anyway, yeah, I'm really enjoying it here. I'm with a great coach in Ante Moric. Sasha Oganovsky's the assistant. Kyle Valeri, Adrian Leia. We've brought in some great local players, a couple from Brisbane, Sammy Sibatuara, who's finding his feet as well. So I'm in a good place with great people, and I think, as you've seen over the last few weeks, the team's really looking good, looking stronger. We've really built a winning mentality and a good culture within the group over the last 5-6 weeks since Ante's arrived.
You've been to like a couple of clubs in your time. We've counted like over six different countries.
Yeah.
Tell us what it's like being on the road, and still like what's it like to be an Australian and be on the road and still be able to like enjoy your football without seeing like your family on a consistent basis.
Also, how is it to be an Australian who actually plays overseas? Because there aren't too many that actually manage to do that in their career.
Yeah, there's always challenges that are thrown at you as an Australian footballer playing overseas. You got language, you got food, you got missing your family. You could have injuries along the way. There's a number of obstacles that get thrown at you, and you have to be able to deal with those things mentally. You have to be independent. You have to have an open mind as you go on your journey overseas, and you have to be mentally strong. That's the key to being able to put up with all the things that get thrown at you along the way. One thing that got me through was pretty much communicating with my family every day.
Yeah.
That helped me get through some difficult times in many countries that I was in, especially Belgium. There was so many things that went on in Belgium, injuries, and there was match fixing going on within the league at the time. One morning I was picked up by the police from my apartment. They knocked on the front door and they said, "You got to come with us." And I had a car accident the week before this all happened. I assumed it was for the car accident. I'm sitting in the back of this police car, unmarked car. And on the way to the police station, I asked them, "What's this for?"
Mm-hmm.
And they said, "Excuse me, sir, can you put your phone away?" And I thought, okay, this is something serious.
Yeah.
Anyway, it took me there, and after 10 minutes of questioning, I had no idea what the hell was going on, and they released me. So that's just one of many stories that I have from my overseas experiences. One from Belgium, and I got many from China. Many funny ones. And, some too disgusting to mention.
Not for the shin pads, mate. Not
This
for
is
the shin
anything.
pads.
You can
This
say
is-
anything on this.
anything
Anything
goes.
goes.
Say
There's no.
absolutely
There's
anything on
no
this
like
show.
you can say
So
fuck.
comedy's
You
allowed.
can
Adam.
say fuck. You can say shit. You can say whatever.
Oh, yeah,
whatever you
that's
want.
it.
There's
Yeah,
no
look,
boundaries.
I get a bit shy when I have to swear, you know.
You don't have to. You don't have to. You know, it's whatever you want.
Whatever feels comfortable.
Yeah.
That's literally what it is. Nah, but you know, I have to go back to it. You know, you did mention that Panenka. I'm going to ask you something.
Oh.
Okay,
Well, look,
so
listen,
the penalties.
Dude.
You find out that it's going to penalties.
Yeah.
Okay. Find out that it's going to penalties.
Yeah.
What's the thought process before you've even stepped up? Take the penalty. It's 0-0 in the penalties. What's the thought process? How do you feel? Like run us through that.
Yeah, because we had a penalty shootout the week before, and I was successful. I stepped up. I was very confident, as I was with this one, going into the Glory grand final shootout with Sydney, and I thought about it 3 days prior to taking the actual penalty that I'm going the same way as Adelaide, so to the left, because I thought I hit it well. I was confident. Everything went well. Then my thought process day before the game shifted a little for whatever reason. I've scored, I think it's 3 Panenkas in the past, and all successful, and keeper dived, and I thought it's a huge occasion, and you know, normally in a huge occasion the keeper's going to dive.
Yep.
You know,
sure.
and I think I haven't struck one better. Actually, I thought I hit it perfectly. It was going maybe a foot under the crossbar, and I was in shock that Andrew Redmayne stood there.
Yeah.
I don't know. They've obviously tracked back a long time, back into the history of when I've played and the penalties that I've taken, and they've picked my brain.
Well, the thing is, I heard that apparently Andrew Redmayne was told 2 words about your penalty taking, and he's like, chip, middle. And I was like, really? How did they know that? Like,
and it's crazy, like, because the week before I didn't do that, and I was like, I don't know how they decided in that moment that was going to happen. So congratulations to them. They've done very well in picking my mind in where I wanted to go. Congratulations to Sydney FC on a fantastic year, and obviously to Steve Corica, who's done an outstanding job there as well. And you know, that's 3 grand final losses for me,
Wow.
and 4 for Popper. So you know, it was hard to take.
Tell us what it was like working under Popovich. Like what? Because we see it from here and we look at him. We're like, wow. We're so amazed at how we can get a team and motivate them to go out and win the likes of like an Asian Champions League. Tell us what it's like working under like Popovich.
Yeah, it's incredible. The expectation to deliver the goods every single day is exciting as a footballer, because you're always pushing yourself day in, day out. You know, you can never take your foot off the pedal. So your standard, your individual standard, the standard as a group is always going up. You can never stop because the expectation's there. You know, when it comes to your sleep, your skin folds, what you eat, you know, little details on the pitch, like one step here, one step there, how that makes such a massive difference when you'd never think it would, you know. So the little details came into play every single day with Popper, and that's why he has so much success, because he's onto everything. He creates a really strong backroom staff behind him, so he can solely focus on the tactical side with the players and the man management side, and then you've got all your video analysts, your S&C coach, your dietitian, your physios. Like there's a really strong group around Popper, which enables him to really focus on getting the results.
You went into the Asian Champions League. Like we were there at the match, and we saw you and Sasha Oljanovsky, 2 Asian Champions League winners, right in front of us in the MPL, and I'm just sitting there like, this can't be happening. Like, 2 top class players in our league. I know Sasha's not playing, but
Even just the coaching aspect. It's fantastic to see you guys actually coming down to that level where you could say, you know, there's many players who are trying to come up. You know, Anthony Polyak is one of your teammates. I find him a fantastic footballer at his age.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like it's going to do so much for his development having you guys there, because at any point he can come up and pick your brain, and that's sort of what you want him to do, because his future is someone else's past, sort of thing. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's amazing that you guys are down in NPL Victoria.
What was it like playing in the Asian Champions, like in the final, winning it?
Incredible. Like I'm still struggling now to find words to explain what the whole occasion was, how quick it flashed by, and just the scale of how big that was. You know, is it going to ever happen again? This is the big question.
I don't think it will.
You know,
I don't think it will.
You know, I don't think so either, because the budgets now are just blown out of proportion, and Australian football can't keep up with the Asian market.
No,
not even close.
And, you know, something that I feel was never really celebrated enough. You know, we didn't really celebrate winning the Asian Champions League. We came home, we went straight to Wellington and played. Since then, there's been nothing. So
that's weird.
You know, and seeing, like, is it talked about enough? Is it, you know,
I don't think it is.
And I agree, Adam, you know. So
do you feel like it came maybe very early into Australia even playing in the Asian Champions League?
Yeah, well, I think it's a shock to everyone still, like what we actually achieved, because nobody believed. We lost our first game in the competition, 3-1 at home to Ulsan, you know, and then to go on and win the competition in your first attempt. It's simply incredible, you know.
That's unbelievable.
And I sit here now and you want to give yourself a right uppercut and go, you know, Santa, it happened.
I was when I first heard the news that you were coming into the MPL, I spoke to my neighbour, and my neighbour doesn't watch soccer at all, and he came up to me and he told me about this thing, and he said he watched a couple of games of Western Sydney Wanderers, and he goes, Santalab, he plays with heart. And I resonate with that because I play with a lot of heart when I played.
Oh, just so you didn't know, this is ex-Murray United alumni. He was replaced by Archie Thompson at Murray United.
Oh,
so he's still a bit cut. So if you ever see Archie Thompson, let him know Adam Ultash looking for him.
I thought you had a bit more respect for Archie than that. And, you know, he's a big player, you know.
Well, I got replaced by the greatest goal scorer of all time.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? You all right? You still recovering?
I'm still hurt about it.
Yeah,
man. I'm sad, really.
Why is that?
Nah, I'm not really sad, man. Nah.
He's sad that he can't play for Murray United anymore. That's the sad part.
Yeah, they don't want me back, man.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think they wanted you in the first place, but they're like, fuck, we need someone. We need someone. What are we gonna do?
So you're struggling to find a gig now?
No, I just stopped playing.
You just stopped.
So yeah, I left.
He quit while he was ahead.
Yeah.
I left Murray United to go pursue like a career in Europe. So I went and trialled in like a Serie D club, and
Serie D. I didn't even know that Serie D.
Did you know Gibraltar was a country?
Yeah, I knew that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He tried to get a gig there.
Yeah, tried to get a gig there. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I tried there.
Well, they give you a pizza. Is that what you're paying?
Nah, they used to feed us, man. We got pasta.
Yeah.
It was good. Really fun. And yeah,
I reckon you get a better feed after an NPL game.
Not a Murray United, man. You got sausage rolls and that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I was in Shepparton at the Goulburn Valley Suns 2 weeks ago. They put on a feed.
Do they?
Unbelievable. This bloke comes up. So St Albans lost 1-0. And they were very cut because Goulburn Valley Suns have won 2 games at home this year. And that's Werribee City. And St Albans Saints, the 2 top teams in their league. Everybody else they've lost to at home. So they turn it up against the big boys. And the game finished up. And I see that the guys who were running the club, they're full like running around making sure like the St Albans stay because they've cooked up this massive fucking feed. The whole fucking table, there's like just trays and trays and trays. It's got chicken, got pork, got lamb, got this, got that, got fresh bread, they got everything. And the coach comes up and he's like, "Are you boys gonna stay?" And we're like, "Yeah, I don't know, mate. They're the players. They just lost 1-0 to you blokes. So I don't know if they're going to stay or not." They ended up having to stay. Dude, these guys still had half a table of food left. So shout out to Goulburn Valley Suns, taking care of their away teams.
Yeah,
But
no, it's good because all the clubs look after each other, after the games. And I think it's really important that there's a respect throughout the whole league. And it's great, to go in and be able to see the other players and have that relationship with the other clubs and players as well. It's nice.
Yeah, but I feel like the clubs that don't actually sort of stay back, I feel like they don't have that respect. Because I've seen clubs, they will come to an away game and they'll just, sometimes even if they win, they'll just pack up and leave.
Yeah.
And it's like, stick around for a bit because you may have even like something as simple as a kid who's a fan of soccer may come up to you and be like, "Brandon, can I get a photo, please?"
And that's why it's important, that
stick around, be available, sort of thing. Show your face.
Yeah. So no, it's good.
So you are one of the best players, I would say, in Australia. 100%, one of the best players in Australia. Tell us do you have like a technique that you do? Like, what does your routine look like football wise? Do you like prepare? How do you prepare through the week? Do you do like your physical training and your sort of mental training?
Yeah.
How do you prepare yourself physically and mentally throughout the week? Like, what is your schedule like?
It's interesting you ask because as soon as the game ends, I'm already preparing for the next game. So the mindset shifts straight away. Win, lose or draw, and when we win, it's all about staying humble and keeping your feet on the ground. And I try and make sure that my teammates are on the same wavelength as me in terms of forgetting about the win, staying calm, and looking forward to our next challenge.
So what are the type of words that you use in the changing room? Is there specific things that you say, like phrases?
Yeah, it's like I think you need to, when you win games, you need to look at where you can still improve. So what I try and do is go around to my teammates and talk about different situations that happened in the match where we weren't so good. And then I think that naturally brings us all back down to earth and go, you know what, we're not Ronaldo's, we're not Messi's, we won a game of football. And we've got another one in 7 days.
Yeah.
So, we scored a few nice goals, but you know what? Pascoe Vale had some chances.
Definitely.
Yeah. And this is where we can analyse ourselves and be honest with ourselves and say we've got a lot of improvement in us. And I think that's the most exciting part about being a footballer. You can never stop learning and improving. I'm learning every day. I'm 36 and I'm playing in the NPL. So for me, I love football.
Yeah.
Because this is what it does. You enjoy so many different aspects to the game.
I wouldn't say you're a day over 24.
Yeah.
Honestly, not
Thanks,
a day
Joseph.
over 24.
Yeah.
It's okay.
The lines on my forehead don't suggest that, but anyway.
That's okay. Adam's camera's not good enough to see that.
Yeah, just filter it out.
So you after the match, you sit down with your team and you speak about how you guys are not as good as what you thought you were.
Mm-hmm.
What does it look like during the week?
Yeah, then it's about working on those weaknesses and those parts where we can improve on. Obviously, we only train a couple days a week, so it's important that away from those couple days, I'm looking after my body, eating the right things, sleeping right, and doing whatever I can to prepare for trainings and the next game. And whether that's my prehab work, whether that's going to the gym, the sauna, and every day your body feels different, and you need to address what's hurting and things like that. So there's always something. You can either work on your muscles, your legs, your mind, tinker with your food and your sleep patterns and that. So I love it.
Is there any visualization techniques that you do?
Yeah, I've been doing that for a long time.
So what is it you do?
Yeah, before the games, especially the day before.
Yep.
I try and entrench in my mind what I want to achieve the next day.
Okay. So what was the thing for this week?
So it was pretty much to score again. Simply because the game against South Melbourne was brilliant. 2 great goals, and that for me, in my eyes, is it would have meant nothing to me if I didn't score against Pasco and win against Pasco, because it was such a good performance, and I just my mindset straight away thinks I want Pasco Vale next. And if I'm not successful against Pasco Vale, I'm going to look back at South Melbourne and go, well, that wasn't, it wasn't my goal, to be successful there, but then not be successful against Pasco.
So Green Gully, watch out.
Yeah.
I reckon. I wanted to ask you, Sunday, okay, game day. What is your, in terms of nutrition, okay, because one of the big factors, especially with juniors and kids who are coming up, they don't focus on their nutrition, and it's a very important part. So what would you do in terms of like eating the right food? What are the right foods? Because people just throw out around words, hey, you've got to eat the right food at the right time, and you've got to, but what would you suggest? Like what's your sort of, pre-game?
It's obviously, correct, right food at the right time. And I believe a lot in routine, and waking up at the same time and eating at the same time. So your body adapts, and it knows what you're doing day in, day out. When you're throwing things everywhere, your body doesn't know what's going on, and that can have some effects with your fatigue and your muscles, and you can even get injured that way. So in terms of what to eat, I think it's pretty much common sense. You need to obviously stay away from all your sugary stuff, and I don't like to. Some people eat pasta before a game. I don't eat pasta before a game because my weight's up, so that weighs me down. Everyone says you got to eat all these carbs before the game. Some people overdose in carbs before the game, yet when I watch them run, they can't move. So you need to find a balance in what suits you best. I'm not a massive eater before the game. I might have a chicken wrap, but I'll eat something that's not heavy in oil, not heavy in fat, not very sugary, but I feel a contentment in my stomach. I go on how I feel. So some days I'll have a bigger meal, some days I'll have a smaller meal. But it's all about working your own body out, your own mind, and what suits you best.
Yep. And is there anything sort of like in terms of replenishment at halftime? Like I've seen like tennis players, they'll have like half a banana.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, or something like that, or they'll have like a jelly bean or something, a bit of sugar. Yeah. Is there any of that you try to add into?
Yeah, there's your hydration drinks, because obviously you lose a lot of fluid when you play. So hydrating for the second half, making sure that you're replacing the fluids that you lost. And you do. Sometimes you get a little bit hungry. You may not have eaten enough before the game, so you need to top up with for example, a banana, some kind of fruit, There's all these things out there, protein shakes and energy gels and all
Yeah.
these. So, for me, I've just always gone on how I felt on the day.
Yeah.
I've prepared as best as I can during the week to make sure that I'm full for the game and that I don't get hungry. But it's always adjustments.
Yeah. And then post game, can you then have a pizza or a pasta or something?
Sure.
After the game.
Yeah. Good for the soul.
Yeah. Especially if you lose.
You got that right. Yeah, you got to just try not to go Domino's. That's it. You get a nice wood-fired one.
All right. Nut job coaches-wise, we saw on the sidelines 2 coaches that were like literally going at each other.
Yeah.
Vitaly Ferrante and Sasha Janovsky. Like, legit, it looked like ethnic karaoke. These 2 were just going at each other.
Yeah.
Who has been the most nut job coach you've ever had? Like, the coach that you're like...
It's just time for another one of those stories.
You don't fuck with this guy.
We've done the
No,
serious
you don't
part.
fuck with anyone, you know what I mean?
Serious part of the interview's done.
Ante Moric is quite scary. He's going to love this. Yeah, he's got a real aura about him, Ante. And some of his halftime chats are quite aggressive, and I think it's a good thing to keep us all on our toes. And obviously, over the last 2 games, we've been up at halftime.
Yep.
So I think it was important that we didn't slacken off and we really put it into the next gear and move forward. And I think that's his way as a coach, to keep you motivated, to keep you going. And personally, I like that.
Yeah.
It's something that not every coach has in their locker. That aggressive streak, that motivational streak.
Would you call that man management?
Yeah, I think. If you go in at half time and you go, boys, it's all excellent. Well done. Played some great football. 2-0 up, 1-0 up, whatever. You see many times that you crumble second half.
Yeah.
Because the other coach has ripped into his side.
Yeah.
You've taken the foot off the pedal. So Ante's really good in that way, in balancing when it's the right moment to really give us a kick up the backside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So he's scary, and I've told him as well. So,
I think he has to be. He's got ex-A-League players, ex-NYL players. He's got players who have won the NPL and VPL. He's got ex-football superstars. All right. I mean,
Champions League winner.
Yeah, like he's got everything there. Like imagine how hard that would be to coach, to control, to especially for a team who hasn't had the best start to the season.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. A team that's sort of looking, hey, on paper we should be up there, but we're here. We need to get back up there.
Yeah, we implemented, Auntie implemented 3 sessions a week lately. So, and it's about getting out of our situations, about hard work.
Yeah. And
if you don't put in the work, then you're not going to get out of a relegation battle. I think we've proved now over the last 5-6 weeks where the club really want to go.
Yeah, for sure.
And with the statement that they've set, with the players that they've signed, the coaching staff that they've brought in, it's a real statement from Dandenong, and I'm delighted to be here, be a part of the club.
Yeah.
And I've really enjoyed my time here so far.
So you've got now the opportunity against Green Gully to go within 9 points of a final spot. Yeah. Is that the goal now? Finals?
Yeah, look, it's obviously with our form that we're currently in. I think we're not thinking that far ahead right now. We're thinking game by game, really extending away from the relegation zone. That's our number one importance. And then I think the next 2 games for us are massive. We got Green Gully, and then I think it's is it Hume? Could be.
It's Green Gully, then the Knights.
Yeah, that's right. Green Gully and then the Knights. And I think these 2 games will really get a clearer picture of, if it's possible.
Well, that just tells you that he only watches game by game because he didn't know who he's playing in 2 weeks. He only knows who he's playing this weekend.
Yeah, correct.
That's
So-
just proof right
yeah.
there. That's just proof right there. Don't worry about 3 weeks down the track. Worry about this week.
Yeah.
For all the young players.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Week to week.
You better like that.
And yeah, we know that Green Gully's a great side. Obviously in a good position with 10 games to go on the table, in a position to improve themselves. We're fighting still down the bottom. Nick Kalmar is a fantastic player. Runs the show there at Green Gully, and they've got a couple other good individuals as well. So we're in for a tough game, but we know we're confident with the form that we're in. Adrian Lay is coming back slowly, and we hope to see him at training this week after his horrific incident.
Yeah.
We're delighted that we've been able to get some great results for him over the last couple of weeks. He's not only a top footballer but a great person, Adrian. And it's a joy to play with Adrian and obviously Carl, another legend. Who's achieved a lot in the game.
Yeah,
and,
Serie B winner,
yeah, incredible. So
his story is kind of
like you were trying out for Serie D and you didn't get a gig.
Yeah.
And he won the Serie B.
He's good.
Yeah.
It shocks me his story because he played in Serie B, he won it with Serie B, and then he didn't play a single minute in the Serie A, and. Yeah, I used to see him at Amy Park, and he used to go around. He used to say these words. And I couldn't believe. He used to come up to me every single time I used to see him. He used to say, "Get the fuck away from me, cat." Nah, he didn't say that.
Yeah. I'm going to tell him now. You're in trouble.
He's going to see it.
Yeah, he's going to see it.
The build up.
The build up. I've been writing that for like 2 weeks.
That's all he came up with.
But when you were younger, what? Because I know this is going to help so many people that watch this interview, and we're expecting like 1 million people to watch this.
Yeah.
What is it that you saw in yourself?
Million people.
1 million.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Yeah, no worries. Keep going.
Hey,
All
the Thai and Balinese betting agencies and all the people.
I got 5,000 views on my Instagram the other day.
Did you really?
Did ya?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going to share this video, or you don't want to see this thing ever?
Well, we'll try and get 1 million. Yeah.
We'll try and get 1 million. Get 1 million.
Yeah, tell your friends.
We'll try hard. Shout it out of the window.
Yeah.
So what is it that when you looked into the mirror when you were younger that you knew you wanted to be a footballer? Like when did you know that, okay, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life? Was it a family pressure thing? Because I know especially with these like ethnic families.
Fucking old wogs.
These, you have to be a footballer. Like was it that, or was it, that...
I'm blessed to have had parents who just let me go. Never pushed me. Dad was always hard on me when I was young, and kept my feet on the ground pretty much. So I thought I'd play a good game. I scored 2 goals, this and that. Next thing, we're in the car driving home, and I'm in tears. And if you're Croatian, you can probably relate.
I got that for like 12 years of playing Melbourneites juniors.
Yeah.
From Sunshine to St. Albans. Tears, man. Tears.
That's a 5-minute
It's
car
a
ride.
5-minute car ride. But
No,
it's the longest
I'll
thing.
forever look back on that and thank Dad for keeping me so humble, and that gave me desire to improve my game all the time, because he always picked out a moment in the game where I wasn't so good.
Yeah.
And then I thought to myself, actually, you know what? It wasn't a perfect performance. So,
or sometimes you thought, just be proud of me, Dad.
yeah. It's still today. I know Dad's not proud of the Panenka, but
What you doing? Fucking pick a corner.
I don't know if our TV's still intact, but he's no, I'm very blessed. Mum and Dad gave me everything that I ever needed to get to this day now, where I had a top A-League career, and now I'm giving back into the NPL. Mum and Dad will come and visit me in Melbourne. They've been to every country that I've played in to visit. So, yeah, it's when I started when I was a kid. You're gonna laugh. I actually walked off the field crying in under sixes. Didn't want to play the game.
Oh,
so
did you cry off looking for mummy, or did you just cry?
No, I went off, crying, looking for mum. Yeah, I don't want to play the game. I hate it, this and that. And then the next time I stepped on the pitch after that, that was it. In love with the game, and it went on from there. So it must have been, I needed a goal or something good to happen in the game for me to fall in love with the game. And I think that's what happened. I went on in under nines to score something crazy like 60 goals or something in one.
You beat me.
Wow.
I got 42.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone has their different numbers, you know. We all make them up some stage,
Yeah. I think mine was actually
I'm not even going to comment right now.
Mine was 69. Anyway, so I'd come home from school. Didn't matter where I went, to the shopping centre, to my grandma's place, I always had the soccer ball in my hand. And so I just grew this natural love for the game. Dad wasn't a professional footballer. And, none of our family were really into football. It just grew with us, I think, as life went by.
Yeah. So I've got a little story. When I was in prep, first started school. So my name's Josip, Josip. Get to school, everyone starts either Joseph.
Yeah, you've had everything.
Joseph, there's all sorts of shit. Joseph, all sorts of stuff.
Just
now,
his girlfriend calls him.
I don't have a girlfriend.
Go on, yeah.
So, your last name is Santalab, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Have you ever had problems with people pronouncing it, or did you just give up and just say, yeah, it's Santalab?
Yeah, it's just Santalab.
It's just Santalab?
Yeah, no one says Santalab.
Yeah.
Only the hardcore crows.
Yeah. So, because I was that kid that used to fucking tell people off for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had this defense mechanism. When somebody would say my name wrong, I'd be like, no, it's Josip. Okay? And
No,
I
I'm
fucking...
not defensive.
I persist.
That's aggressive.
I was persisting.
Yeah.
Fucking pronounce it or don't fucking say it at all.
All right.
Did you ever say that or no?
No.
No, I'm the only
No.
one? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So, what was it like? I know we've asked you a lot of questions.
It's all right.
Do you have any questions to ask the students?
Yeah, ask us, bro. Where?
You know what, boys? I just want to say it's a joy to listen to you when you're commentating, and I heard that you guys don't get paid to do it. That makes me upset, irritates me, because you're very important to the game and what you bring. We need you guys to be doing a good job for the league, for football in Melbourne, because it is a well-respected league throughout the country. So, if this, on this podcast, by me bringing it up and making people aware of the situation that you guys are in, how difficult it is, I'm happy to help in any way and put the word out there that you guys need to be looked after and respected for what you do. So, congratulations on everything that you guys do. I certainly appreciate it and enjoy listening to you. I have a good laugh. And I hope that in the future you can keep progressing and loving your commentary and hopefully get to the top level one day.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you.
Man.
That's
whoa.
Fuck. I need a minute.
Yeah.
No, but
That's
I
true.
appreciate
Yeah.
it. That's you don't hear it. You know what I mean? It's not out there like that. But I mean, I feel like even with this broadcast deal that we've got, and the fact that every minute is recorded, and that there's not a single thing that you can do in the NPL right now where it's not on camera.
Yeah.
So I guess even as a player, as a coach, as an opposition coach, as a commentator, as a lover of the game, as everything, I feel like it's only positives.
Yeah.
But I have heard one negative, and apparently the negative is that it is pushing people away from the grounds. Would you believe? Do you agree with that?
In terms of
People can just watch it at home.
It's 3 degrees outside. I can't fuck go to the game. I'm going to watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, it is. It's you need people at your games. You know, for our local clubs to survive. You know, the ticket prices are cheap. I think it's a great place to go and socialise. There's great food that the clubs put on, and it's really important that the people of Melbourne get out to the local clubs and support them. That's the only way that a lot of the clubs can survive moving forward. And yeah, it is. It's really important. So, you know, the live streaming and all of this is great because my parents are in Croatia at the moment. They're able to watch the game.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's the A-League is people pay to watch Fox.
Yep.
People don't pay to live stream it. So, you know, we need to see where we can improve in that way. So we get more people to the games, you know, and supporting the local competition where there's some fantastic players.
Yep, for sure.
Many players from the NPL go to the A-League.
Yep.
And this is where people can come and watch the young kids coming through. The next generation of quality go through into the A-League.
So if somebody knocks on your door at the end of this season after a successful Dandenong City spell and they say back to the A-League, would you go?
No. I've announced my retirement. I'm overjoyed with the career that I had at the top level. And it's funny you said that because I had someone ask me that the other day, and legit offer. And I can't actually mention who it is, and but there was interest from an A-League club. And I knocked it down straight away. I'm very happy here in Dandenong.
Yeah.
And I retired at the top level for a reason, and it was to come back in great shape, physically, mentally, and be able to give back to grassroots level.
So how is it for your confidence as a footballer? Like you said, you're 36, so you're not young by any means in terms of football age. How does that feel for your sort of confidence that, you know, the top level still wants you?
Yeah, it's I'm proud to have been obviously asked after announcing retirement to go and play in the A-League. Like, I don't know if anyone's been offered that before, so it's a...
Let him know that I'll sign if you want. If there's a spot, let him know. I'll be more than happy to
find someone.
More than happy to,
it's great. And I look after my body, and I think with the shape that I'm in at the moment, I could probably go another year in the A-League.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be able to drop down to this level and still provide the goods.
You went to obviously a couple of clubs, and why did you stay at Western Sydney Wanderers so long?
Yeah, it's, there'll always be a special connection between myself and the Western Sydney Wanderers, the RBB, the fans, the atmosphere that they created in Parramatta there was something that I'd never seen before. There was, when I'd run out onto the grass there at Perth Stadium, I'd have this energy go through my body that is something I'll probably never feel again. It was epic. It was epic. There was something special about that club from the day I arrived. The aura about it, the red and black, and the fans. How everyone was united together, and how hard we were to beat. That's from day one. I think Popper created a winning mentality at the Wanderers, and didn't matter whether it was a pre-season friendly or a grand final, the club was always hard to beat. Anybody who came to Parramatta felt the mountain on their shoulders when they came to play against us, and
when they entered Wonderland.
And as a player playing at home in front of those fans, we felt 1-0 up before we run out. So it was a special feeling, and a connection that I'll always have with the club, and obviously the fans. You know, I still talk to a lot of the Wanderers fans, which is beautiful. You know, and the game brings people together.
Yeah.
And it definitely introduced me to so many good people at the Wanderers.
So 6 countries you've played in, right? Many teams, many teammates, many coaches.
Yeah.
If you had to pick a teammate that was just, I don't know, crazy or just a character, just someone that you looked at and you thought, I know no one like you. You are special because you're a dickhead.
Good dickhead.
Jeez, I really need to be careful.
On the spot.
I've always respected my teammates, whether they've been a dickhead or not.
It's all a part of it.
Dickhead.
No, I've played with some phenomenal footballers.
Yeah.
You know, and
who takes the cake?
It's a good question. I've played with so many good players. You know, the latest being Diego Castro.
Okay.
What a footballer.
Yeah.
You know, incredible what he's achieved throughout his whole career, and still to be playing at his age with his agility and his mindset, his work ethic. It's phenomenal. Then another one, Schin.
Okay.
Another technically superb footballer, and just a humble person off the pitch, and a hard worker. You know, we would do our warm-up laps, and Shinji would be the first. He'd be the first. So,
yeah, he was.
You know, he's a great example of a top pro who's achieved a lot in the game, but kept his feet on the ground the whole way through. And then I've played against some unbelievable footballers like David Beckham, and then we played Chelsea this season, just gone in pre-season in Perth. Unfortunately, I didn't play against Arsenal when I was at the Wanderers. I was injured, but I was able to walk past these guys, Arsene Wenger and all of these people, and just a surreal career pretty much. I look back and I just, like I said, I sometimes have to give myself a right jab, you know, in the chin and say, you know, it has all happened. Yeah. And I have been able to play alongside and against some phenomenal people.
Yeah. What happened at this is an interesting one. What happened at North Queensland Fury?
A disaster. I'll just say it right.
And that's it. Next question. Next question.
I turn up. Right? First day. This is a brand new club, by the way. I turn up and I don't have a towel to shower in. I'm like, what have I come to? I'm in the sticks in North Queensland here. I don't have a towel. How am I going to dry myself?
Air dry.
It's
North
like
Queensland.
air dry. What do I just walk out naked? And anyway, I don't know what to say because it was really disappointing. I went up there with big expectations, and Robbie Fowler, obviously, another, you know, idol when I was growing up, was with me there, and I can't even imagine what it was like for him, you know, seeing this brand new club, which we pretty much had nothing, try and enter the A-League. And obviously I'd been around for a while before then as well. I was already 24, 25. And then to see the way the owner had no idea about football and what actually it took to be an A-League club. So he obviously had a lot of money, but didn't know actually what it took to have an A-League club and all the necessities that needed to be put in place before you even stepped on the pitch.
Yeah.
So what happened was
such as a cupboard with towels.
Yes, that's right. That's all I wanted. Anyway, so we got through. I got through 2.5 months of pre-season, very unhappy, and I was sitting on my couch in North Queensland one day, thinking I want to leave. I don't want to be here. It's probably one of the only clubs during my career where I didn't want to be because I wasn't enjoying it at all, and I needed to get out of there. So I was sitting on the lounge one Sunday afternoon thinking, I want to get out of here. Lou Sticker calls me and says, I didn't even know who Lou Sticker was.
I don't know who he is.
You don't know who he is? Well, Lou's a very successful agent, was I'm pretty sure CEO of Carlton, went back in the old National Soccer League.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he's now a big part of Western Melbourne.
Okay.
So a big name in our game. Just Google him later, you'll see.
Yeah.
So Lou called me and said there's an opportunity to go to China. I sat on the edge of the couch with excitement, and
I'll take fucking Zimbabwe.
And-
At this
They have tails, bro.
Can I be honest? I'll be honest. It was a bit like that. I don't know much about Iceland, but I probably would have went to Iceland. So, anyway, he said to me, "Oh, there's a club in China. They're gonna need you to go in a few days." And I'm like, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah.
So, next, one thing led to another, and we actually had a pre-season tournament in Perth. So we flew to Perth, we landed, and there were texts flying everywhere. Ian Ferguson, the coach at the time, and I had a quick discussion. He said, "Do you want to go?" I said, "Yes." I think he was happy to let me go as well, because we weren't quite getting along. 8 days later, I'd signed a contract for 18 months in China. And I stayed there for 4.5 years. So everything happens for a reason.
Do you speak Mandarin? Cantonese?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Did you just say a little
that
bit?
means a little bit.
Little bit.
Well done,
Yeah.
yourself. You know you're Chinese. Yeah, but that's all I know.
That's all I could guess.
And 4.5 years in China after that. So I got to get our jail-free card, I think.
Yeah.
Because, really, the club was never really going places and achieving things. There was always some kind of drama. They never had success on the pitch, and I guess that was to do with the dramas that they had often.
So one thing I think people look at and they really want to know, especially in terms of Australian football, is the NSL and the A-League.
Yeah.
What in terms of football, in terms of actual, what, which one's better and why? And
It's so hard to compare, and I talked to my coach about this because Ante Moric used to play in the old National Soccer League. I watched some clips last week actually of him playing and how good the standard was. It's the reason why I say it's hard to compare is where we have a modern game now. We have GPSs on our backs. We're a little bit like robots.
Yeah.
It's very structured. We've got these coaching curriculums that, soon we'll be pressing a button and the player's going to move left and move so back in the old National Soccer League, you really played with a lot of freedom because there was none of this monitoring and these curriculums and all of this. It was pretty much the mind and what the mind thought at the time.
Yeah.
Now you're very controlled in your structures and what you do on the pitch. That's just the way the modern game is now.
Yeah.
It's more and more difficult to break the opposition down, and you have to come up with solutions. So I sit here and I can't compare because two different eras, and with so much evolving in football and changing You know, I respect both games, but I played in both the old National Soccer League and the A-League. And to be fair, I enjoyed playing more in the old National Soccer League.
Yeah. Do you feel like it because it was more like raw football?
Yeah, raw football.
Yeah.
It was pure. No VAR, no stoppages, passionate fans, loving every moment, offside call, penalty, whatever. It all just flowed. And that's what I loved about the game. I don't like the way that the game has changed so much. With all this technology, and I really think it's taken away the natural aspect and love that a lot of people have for the game.
And I personally have one last question for you for this interview.
He's like,
how does it feel?
Right,
Yeah, I've lost the weight. I'm a bit hungry, boys. Yeah, go on.
How does it feel, right? Because not everybody gets to experience this, but how does it feel to be able to play with yourself on FIFA?
Play with myself. That came out really awesome.
Have you selected?
I don't even.
Have you ever done?
I don't even play FIFA. So
play
I
a
watched
career with
my
yourself?
nephew. Watched my nephew.
Yeah.
Use me. I score heaps of goals on FIFA, more than real life.
Does your character look like you?
Is he actually a good player on FIFA? Or like...
Yeah, he's better, I think. You know, this modern technology, man, it pisses me off. They make me look better on there, and then I go and play, and I'm like, but I did that on FIFA, and I can't do it here. Like a bicycle from halfway. It's been a pleasure to be on with you boys. And I look forward to, obviously, the rest of the season, listening to you guys, have fun commentating.
Yeah.
You know, I wish you both well, and I'm sure we'll be in touch, boys.
No worries. Thanks so much, man.
No worries.
Thank you for
cheers.
joining the Shin Pads.
Thanks, mate. Go the Shin Pads.